promises, and we've spoken clearly with them on this, that it doesn't help us help them. It puts us in a very difficult situation to advocate for some of the things that the people of Afghanistan need in the form of humanitarian aid, the unfreezing of their funds, the functioning of their economy, etc., etc. Puts us in a very difficult position in where we are trying to advocate for those things, but then they are not living up to their commitments in the context of women's education.
We are ready. You can ask. Yep.
Thank you, Your Excellency, because my question didn't get answered. That's fine. The role of, and because I write for a Catholic newspaper, the role of other churches, but specifically Pope Francis, who has made overtures, has been to several Muslim countries, most recently Iraq, and created dialogue between the Vatican and different. You know, what can you say about the Catholic Church's overtures to Islam and how that's helped?
So I think that first of all I'd like to welcome and praise the efforts of His Holiness Pope Francis, is particularly to do with interfaith harmony. And I absolutely agree that there is a role for all of us to play to encourage interfaith harmony between religions. And rather than sort of just speaking in our own echo chambers, if members of different religions and religious groups come together, I think they'll find that there's far more that we agree upon than as to what we disagree upon. Someone with the prominence of the Pope himself, I think, can play quite a significant role in this context.
Thank you again. There is some pressure on Indonesia to normalize with Israel. I'm scared that if these efforts give fruit, we will see a domino effect on Muslim countries. Would you envision anytime soon that Pakistan would ever normalize with Israel before Palestinians achieve their rights?
So as far as what you refer to about Indonesia, I'm honestly not aware and therefore not in a place to comment. As far as Pakistan is concerned, I can imagine a time when Pakistan would be able to recognize Israel, but it would not be possible without first the people of Palestine making that decision. Our country is clear, our people are clear, our history is clear. We pride ourselves that our passport never recognized an apartheid state. And at a time when South Africa were one of those countries, our passports used to say that our passports are valid for all countries except South Africa and Israel. Today there is one apartheid state left in the world, and Pakistan does not recognize.
Real quick, UNHCR is also very critical to the human rights situation in Pakistan. Could you comment a little bit on it?
UNHCR has a very important role to play across the world. And while Pakistan relies on the UNHCR's reports in the context of, for example, Kashmir, then we'll absolutely have to be willing, tolerant of any and all criticism that they may have of Pakistan's record on human rights. I can't stand here before you and say that Pakistan has an outstanding record on human rights, but I can say that there are political parties, civil society, people across the length and breadth of Pakistan that have throughout our history struggled for and achieved quite significant progress on the issue of human rights, but there's a long way to go.
I will take special opinion and then we'll continue.
You haven't answered Mr. Minister, you haven't answered my question. As a chairman of the OIC, what kind of impediments and practical problems you see and experience that OIC has not been able to achieve, clearing the misperception about Islam and women in Islam?
Well, as far as the misperception about women in Islam, or as far as the issue of Islamophobia, of course there's a lot of work that's yet to be done. But both events held for the first time here at the United Nations. The marking of International Women's Day from the OIC platform, and the high-level event held in the General Assembly today, along with the President of the General Assembly, with the OIC, to combat Islamophobia, are just two examples of our efforts to this end. But of course, we have to continue these efforts to see results on the ground.
Mr. Foreign Minister, just one quick question.
I have to go to the UN Secretary
Just
General.
one quick question. On the economic front, anything you have to need to say about
the Pakistan,
on the economic front?
As far as the
Are
economy,
you meeting someone here, sir?
as far as the economy is concerned, absolutely, Pakistan is facing incredibly difficult economic times. There's harsh economic realities across the world. We're facing the brunt of them because we have the economic impact of the COVID pandemic that we're still feeling and facing in the form of inflation. We have the economic impact of the fall of Kabul. The economic activity in an economically functioning state to our border over a year ago collapsed, and we've seen the nosedive of their economy, which has the impact in the region. We've also seen the economic output of the impact of the war in Ukraine that has had an outsized impact on developing countries, including Pakistan, in the form of energy insecurity, food insecurity, and skyrocketing inflation. To top it all off, we faced last year the catastrophic climate catastrophe in the form of the floods, took 10% out of our GDP, washed away 5 million acres of standing crop. People are still to 2 million houses. People to this day are facing the consequences of this natural calamity, and we will have to deal with the economic and other consequences of this for times to come. We also have seen, as I've mentioned, over the past year, a steady uptick in terrorist activity, but more recently, significant terrorist attacks in Peshawar and in Karachi. Of course, that too has an economic impact. And finally, the cherry on the cake is our negotiations with the IMF are as ever ongoing and still not concluded. And that uncertainty also has economic consequences. So Pakistan is facing a perfect storm of crises. The economic situation is nothing short of a disaster, particularly for the bottom of the pyramid. The weakest, the poorest in Pakistani society, those affected by the flooding, are facing the burden of this more than anybody else, which is why we insist and we request from international financial institutions to cooperate with Pakistan appropriately so that we could provide the necessary relief to our people. Thank you. I don't want to...
If you have final remarks for the Urdu audience, just a quick...
Sorry, मैं आप सबका बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ.
Just a final
आज
remarks.
पाकिस्तान ने अपने कैपेसिटी में as chair of the Council of Foreign Ministers of the OIC हमने 2 तारीखी events host किए हैं यहाँ अक़वाम मुत्तहिदा में. 2 दिन पहले इंटरनेशनल वुमेन्स डे पे हमने औरतों और इस्लाम के नाम पे OIC के प्लेटफॉर्म पे यहाँ यूनाइटेड नेशंस में एक इवेंट रखा था जिसमें पूरा दुनिया ने अपना नुमाइंदगी और पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू सामने लेकर आया. और इस इवेंट का मकसद ये था कि दुनिया में जो इस्लाम के बारे में गलत फहमी है, जो औरतों के हकूक़ के बारे में और इस्लाम के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में औरतों के हकूक़ के बारे में जो गलत फहमी है, उसको दूर करने की एक कोशिश था. अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह बहुत कामयाब किया. हमने दुनिया को एक मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया कि इस्लाम वो मज़हब है जो औरतों को सबसे पहले हकूक़ दिए हैं. इस्लाम वो मज़हब है जिन्होंने पहले मुस्लिम दुनिया को खातून वज़ीर आज़म दिया. पाकिस्तान में, तुर्किया में, बांग्लादेश में, जगह जगह. और जहां हमारे मसाइल हैं वहां हमारा कामयाबियां है, और हम समझते हैं कि इस्लाम के नतीजे में औरतों के ये हुकूक मिले हैं. साथ साथ OIC के प्लेटफॉर्म से जहां ये एक बड़ा कामयाबी तो था कि पिछले साल हमने 15 मार्च के लिए जो रेजोल्यूशन पास करवाया, लेकिन अगर सिर्फ हमने रेजोल्यूशन पास करवाना था और भूल जाना था तो वो उसका इम्पैक्ट नहीं होता. आज जो हुआ कि जनरल असेंबली का, यूनाइटेड नेशंस का, अक़वाम मुत्तहिदा के जनरल असेंबली का हॉल में आपका वज़ीर ख़ारजा बतौर OIC का काउंसिल ऑफ फॉरेन मिनिस्टर्स ने को कन्वीन किया. प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द जनरल असेंबली एक तरफ और यूनाइटेड नेशन सेक्रेटरी जनरल दूसरी तरफ, और पूरी दुनिया को सामने बिठा दिया और उनके साथ इस्लामोफोबिया का दिन मनाया और पूरी दुनिया से कहलवा दिया کہ اسلاموفوبیا غلط ہے. مسلمانوں کے خلاف جو زیادتیاں ہو رہے ہیں ان سے اس کا مزاحمت کروایا کہ اگر ہمارا قرآن پاک پہ، اگر ہمارا عبادت گاہوں پہ حملے ہوں گے تو اس کا بھی مزاحمت کروایا. اور میں سمجھتا ہوں آج ہم نے ایک تاریخی روایت شروع کیا. اس پریسیڈنٹ کے بعد انشاءاللہ تعالی آگے جا کے پاکستان کے پاس تو OIC کا یہ پلیٹ فارم نہیں ہوگا، لیکن آگے جا کے انشاءاللہ تعالی ہر سال یہاں اسی اقوام متحدہ میں OIC اور یونائٹڈ نیشنز اسلاموفوبیا دن منائیں گے، اور آہستہ آہستہ جو ظلم و ناانصافی مسلم دنیا میں اور غیر مسلم دنیا میں جہاں مسلمان رہتے ہیں ان کے ساتھ ہو رہے ہیں ان کا ہم مقابلہ کریں گے. آئی ایم ویری گریٹفل. آئی ایم سوری آئی ہیو ٹو رن ٹو دی SG.